I was here in '93 when Adi was just trying to start things, and the way I guess I was the most helpful was that I met Adi in 1992 when he was one of the first people out of Romania. He came to a conference in Utrecht, and we sat around a table and drank beer. And so it was me and Adi and another friend of mine, Steve Wally, and Adi sat with us. We didn't know him at all, and Steve gave him a box of what's called the MKS toolkit, because Steve was working for a company, and Steve was also, I think, working for me in another capacity. And he said, "Here, take this," and Adi took it, and Adi brought it back home, and he installed the MKS toolkit in several different cities. And the MKS toolkit was Unix utilities that ran on top of MS-DOS. This is in '92. And then he sent himself a message around through those cities, and it came back to him, and he said it took a week. And he said, "Good, now we make it faster." And that was beginnings of communications inside Romania.
What did you think internet would do? Where it would go when it first started? What did you envision for it?
Well, here I will give you a very technical answer because I'm a technical guy. I don't know. That's my favorite technical answer. but I will talk a little bit about that today. I can say that I do things now that I didn't know I would do 10 years ago. On the 30th of September, the last day of September, I got up in the morning and I looked at my phone, and it said, "In 17 minutes, you have an appointment to have a flu shot." Influenza, you know what that is. And it's 2 cities away. And I went, I forgot about that. I put it on my calendar and I forgot, so I quickly got up and I got dressed. And then I jumped in my car and I took my phone and I put it on the dashboard. I've got a little clip, and said, "Give me driving directions up to the place I'm supposed to get this flu shot." I said, "Okay." And then it said, "Oh, by the way, the place is closed today," which was okay because they did this clinic in the parking lot.
Oh.
So I drove up, and on the drive up, it was navigating me and going through the fastest path in the highways, and it said, "You have a message, you have a text message from Ron Friedland in Oregon," which is a whole time zone away, and said, "Would you like me to read it to you?" And so I said yes, and it read it to me, and I'm driving, I'm not touching the phone. And we had a little exchange of text messages by talking and having it read to me. And every time I gave it a text message, it would read it back to make sure it got it right. And sometimes it didn't, so I said, "No, do it again." And then I got up there, I got my shot, and then I said, "Okay, show me a list of coffee shops." So it showed me a list of coffee shops nearby. This is not my city. And it gave me recommendations. And so I picked one of them, and it drove me there. It took me there. It was a nice coffee shop, but their internet was down. And so I used my phone as a hotspot to talk to my computer, and then I worked on slides for this talk. And when I got done, I got back in my car. I had it give me driving directions back home. And while I was driving, I asked it to call my sister, who was on vacation in Hawaii. Now, the distance from where I was to Hawaii is about the distance from here to Nepal. It's 4 time zones away. We had a nice conversation. I woke her up because it was very early for her. And then I got home. And 10 years ago, I was making Android phones. I was working for a telecom company that did telecommunications in airplanes, avionic telecommunications. So I know how Android phones work. And if you'd asked me 10 years ago whether I could have done any of that stuff, I would have said no.
What gadgets do you use that use internet?
I have things in my bedroom and in my kitchen that understand speech and talk to me, and so my girlfriend and I will have an argument, and we'll say, okay, hey Google, what's the answer to this? And it'll tell us we're both wrong. And I use this to get around, and I use laptops. I have a Chromebook, which is a Unix-based or Linux-based thing. Android is Linux-based. I have a Mac that I use for doing actual computing. I looked this morning because I got a note that said that somebody was outside my garage because I have a camera watching, and it was my girlfriend hard at work. She's, harvesting tomatoes because we're going to have a freeze. But I could see in real time, and also in a recording, that she was out there working. That's IoT for sure.